Kairete guys, it's Aeneas here with my first Gears of War Judgment gameplay video. As you'll see here, I'm playing some free-for-all on the map Rig. I start out a little bit shaky, but as the match goes on, I'll end up coming back for the win. So I wanted to talk to you guys about my thoughts on Judgment so far. The maps, the weapons, and the grenades specifically. So right now, there are only 4 maps. There's Rig, which I'm playing on right now, Library, Gondola, and Streets. So far, I'd probably rank them in the order of Streets being my first favorite. It's kind of open, it has some open areas, but then there's plenty of alleyways that you can have some close quarters combat in. The rooftops make it to where you can shoot down on people who are on the ground level. And then there's plenty of staircases and buildings that let you get to the roof access. So if a team's controlling roof, you're not necessarily out of the game. So it's a pretty well-rounded map, has some really fun gameplay. My next favorite is either Gondola or Streets. I can't really decide between them. I like them both quite a bit. Right now, I would probably say Gondola is my second favorite, just because I've been playing that more lately and have been starting to do consistently well. Usually I try to control the sniper area because it's the top of the map. You're able to shoot down on your opponents, and it seems to be a pretty good place to hold. And then the sniper is a pretty powerful power weapon on that map. And then Library, I like quite a bit also. The secret passageways are fun. The one-shot area is fun to control. You and a buddy can go up there, and as long as you watch out for their sniper rifle, you can get a lot of kills by the two of you holding the one-shot area. And then also Sniper Tower is pretty fun to hold. You can hold it with 2 guys, although 3 is a little better. And you want to make sure they don't get Vulcan because that thing will tear you to shreds. That is a very powerful new power weapon. Or I guess it was in Gears 3, but it wasn't in Gears 3 multiplayer. And in Judgment, it is very powerful. I think in the beginning of this video, actually, I got a really good Vulcan kill on a guy. And so then that leaves Rig. Rig, I am not crazy about. It is really open, really big, and it doesn't really feel like a Gears of War map. I'd like to say I've been warming up to it as I've played more, but that's just not true. I am just not crazy about this map. Some of the fun things are you can get in a helicopter and ride around and operate a turret where you shoot at the other guys, and that's pretty fun. Once again, it doesn't really feel like Gears of War compared to a lot of the other things, but you know, whatever. I'm sure there's people who love Rig and would disagree with me. So now let's talk about the weapon some. As you see in this video, I start out with Lancer and then I move to the Gnasher. I'm using them both about equally. I think I have some more Gnasher kills right now. I was using Lancer primarily at first, but the Lancer feels good. The chainsaw is a little different. It's not as easy to get the chainsaw kills, but when you do use it correctly, it works. So that's pretty fun. The clip seems good. You can get kills pretty fast. It feels really well balanced. The Gnasher feels different than the Gears 3 Gnasher. It has a slower rate of fire. And it makes for really interesting Gnasher duels. It does not feel like Gears 3. A lot of people have compared it to the Gears 1 Gnasher. And I hopped on Gears 1 last night actually to kind of see what I thought about that. And that does seem a pretty accurate comparison as far as fire rate goes. I think this Gnasher might feel a little more powerful than the Gears 1 Gnasher, but that might just be my imagination. So yeah. As far as the other weapons, the Retro Lancer is really good. I have some friends who primarily use that. It seems to work well against Gnasher players. I have one friend who carries a stim grenade and a Retro Lancer. Whenever he has a group of people rushing him, he'll throw the stim grenade at his feet and use the Retro Lancer, and he's able to take them out usually. The stim grenade's pretty good in combination with the Retro there. And then the Retro Charge is awesome because since there's not stopping power anymore, you can pull it off more easily against a rifle player. The Hammer Burst, there's the normal Hammer Burst like we're used to from Gears 3. Then there's the classic Hammer Burst. I have not used either of those weapons a lot. I've been killed by them plenty. I'm personally not very good with them though. I might end up practicing with them later and seeing how I like it. But right now I've pretty much stuck to the first 3 weapons that I mentioned. And then there's also the Marxa, which at first I did not like, but some gameplay I did today and the past couple days, I've started liking it quite a bit more. Once I realized you don't need to just go for the headshots with it, the body shots are pretty potent also, especially in combination with the headshot. So the Marxa is a pretty good weapon. It seems hard to use. I think You have to kind of practice with it to figure it out. It's different, but it certainly will work for some people. I get killed by it plenty. So yeah. And then the last weapon that I'm going to talk about is the sawed-off. It does not feel good in this game. It is not like the Gears 3 sawed-off where when you have it up against an Asher player, you pretty much win. It is... I feel weird saying this, but it almost feels underpowered, and I couldn't imagine why anyone would choose it as their primary weapon when you can choose an Asher instead. If you disagree with me, comment below and let me know, but that's how I feel about the sawed-off right now. Even having the 2 shots in it doesn't really make up for the fact that you're just not doing much damage when you're using it unless you're basically touching the guy. So now let's talk about the grenades. As you've probably noticed if you've played the online at all, everyone's using frag grenades. They're good. They don't do as much damage as the Gears 3 frag grenades, but they will stick to an opponent if you throw it right. Those are kind of hard to get, but they're really fun when you do get them. And by sticking someone, it doesn't necessarily mean that you yourself are going to die. In Gears 3, a lot of times if you stuck someone with a grenade, it was kind of a last resort and they would chase you down and explode on you. But in Gears Judgment, you can usually get away from the guy after you stick him and be fine. So yeah, we see a lot of people using the frag grenades. Another grenade is the smoke grenade. I have not seen that used a lot. It seems like it could potentially be really good in competitive multiplayer. It causes you to flinch, and it's a really thick smoke, and it's hard to see through it even using your TACCOM. There's the ink grenade, which at the beginning of this free-for-all I use, so you can click back there if you want to see what it's like. I have not figured it out yet. I've gotten killed by it. It seems to do damage more quickly than I expected. It does not stun anymore, which I think is a good thing. I hated getting stunned by an ink grenade in Gears 3. But I have not personally figured out how to use this one extremely well. I think it can be really good, especially in competitive play if you're wanting to control power weapon areas. You can have one of your people drop an ink on the boomer or something to keep the other team from rushing in and getting it. Then there's the stim grenade, which I kind of talked about a little bit in the beginning of the video. Using it with the retro seems to work really well for my buddy. That's another one that you'd probably pick more often when you're on a team. But it's pretty good. And then there's the beacon grenade. Actually, there's one dropped right now. It outlines enemies for you. I don't know why you would use it in free-for-all, but I saw a couple guys using it in this game. But it works really well when you're with a team. You can see where the guys are. You can figure out how to approach them, from what directions are best to approach them. But I personally don't use it that often. Maybe if I were doing a ranked game and one of my teammates wanted me to use it, I would. But it's not my favorite grenade. I probably am going to stick with the frag for now. So that's it for the grenades. The gameplay itself feels quite a bit different than Gears 3. Seems like teamwork's a whole lot more important, especially since you have to start with a primary weapon. Only one primary weapon, I mean. In Gears 3, being able to start with 2 made it to where you could kind of be off on your own and pretty much have a fighting chance against anyone. Whereas in Gears Judgment, there's certain weapons that are just better against other weapons. There's a whole lot more rock, paper, scissors. For instance, if you have a Marks and you're being rushed by a Asher, you're going to have a really hard time defending against that unless you're able to get him with a grenade and a couple of melees. So teamwork is incredibly important. I would suggest if you're going to be playing Team Deathmatch to go in there with at least one other buddy. But yeah, it's up to you, I guess. So I really like this game so far. I wish there were more maps, but I'm having a whole lot of fun with it, and hopefully y'all are too. Sorry about not being able to get that live commentary up I was talking about. Me and my friend tried to do that, and we had trouble with the audio and mixing that together with the gameplay. So hopefully we'll be able to get that working, and I'll be able to get one up soon. Right now, I think I'm going to post another ranked team deathmatch where I'm playing with a full lobby on Gondola, and hopefully I can get that up soon. So yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.